Hello, hello, hello. Purple shirt guy here, and I want to talk to you about everybody's favorite Roblox. Yes. Um, so I have been using Roblox now for a couple of years, and this year my son and I started to work on making a couple of obbies because we wanted to, participate in the community, maybe theoretically eventually earn a little bit of money. And so we started one that was beyond our ability, so we switched to an easier version that is within our capabilities at this time because I used to be a programmer, but it's been so long, I just suck now. And neither of us is any good at art, really, so we can't make stuff when it comes to like models and images and videos and stuff like that. And it's just the two of us working on this together. So we got it to a point where we felt fairly comfortable with the 60 or so levels that we had developed, oftentimes which my son pulled out of the studio toolbox, some of which were created though, and some of them were modified from what was in the toolbox. And then we started working on themes. And I decided that, or we decided based on what my son and I had created thus far, that the beginning theme would be a kind of a fantasy theme. So we had inserted a variety of things to kind of make that kind of a feel, like fairies and elves and stuff like that. And in the course of searching, I came across a bunch of different models. Like there was an ice dragon, which I wanted to use for decoration. I ended up having to strip all the scripts out of it because I was afraid that it might be infected. There were some wolves, but I ended up throwing them away. I also found a dwarf king and a gnome and a star mist fairy and a pair of blood elves, a male and female warrior. And I put all that stuff in there one night late, and then I went to bed after having done a little bit of testing to see if I noticed anything. Like, for example, the Star Mist Fairy was very uncooperative in getting it to look correct. It kept on reverting the position of the wings to in front of the fairy, and it kept on putting the hair down around the shoulders. So it's a little bit frustrating. The next day I went back to working on it, and I had been working on it for quite some time when suddenly something weird started happening in studio, and I didn't know what was going on. It seemed like maybe studio had a problem, but my son, who was playtesting the game while I was working on it in the studio, was kicked out, and I was kicked out. And then we went back into studio, and my son said, "It says that the content has been deleted." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I didn't understand what was going on. So in fact, I can actually even show that to you in a minute here while we're waiting for that. So I went in, and sure enough, it said content deleted. And I was like, well, what the heck? There was no warning. There was no indication of any problems or anything like that. Did a hacker get us? We didn't understand what was going on. So I went back in, and I was going to try to search through the newer things that I had introduced. I thought it was something I had just introduced, a leprechaun and a speech bubble that actually I think came from Roblox's one of Roblox's example models, and I had also put in some glowing mushrooms, and I thought, well, maybe one of those things is the source of the problem. So I went in there and I thought, okay. And I looked, and I was going to look at this stuff. And before I could do anything, suddenly I was kicked out of studio again, and I could not get back in. And I was like, well, what the heck? What's going on? Why can't I get in and try to figure out what's going on with our game. And so I went into Roblox itself, and it said that I had been banned for 3 days and that the game had been permanently suspended. I was like, well, what the heck? I had been given absolutely no warning that there was anything wrong. I had no information as to what they were banning me for. They just said something was inappropriate in the game. And I was totally confused because, again, I'm not very good at programming anymore, and my son and I had just taken things from the toolbox to use. And so I thought, well, okay. So I sent an appeal to the appeals team to have, because I wanted them to reverse this very strange and confusing situation. And it was just, I didn't know what to do. We had put so much time and effort into it, and we really wanted to make it nice for kids, especially. There was no ill intent on our part whatsoever. And so then I wrote to them and I said, look, I've been banned, and I said I was IP banned. And the reason I said that is I tried making a new account because I wanted to test the game to find what was wrong with it. And when I tried to use that new account, it also was IP banned. So I couldn't do anything in Roblox or Roblox Studio, and so I was stuck, and very, very frustrated after putting so much time and effort and love into making this game with my son. And so I wrote to them and I said, hey, what's going on? And I got an automated notice, this one first, and then I got this message from Jack saying, your account was correctly banned for creating a game with adult model blood elf female warrior. The penalty for this offense will not be changed. Games must be appropriate for all ages. Well, first of all, I didn't create the model. I simply got it out of the toolbox. Why was it in the toolbox if it was not appropriate for Roblox? Second of all, the game was not available to the public. It was private to my children and I only. So what was so wrong with the Blood Elf female warrior? They never clarified what that problem was. And they did actually remove the model from my game, and I think they removed it from the toolbox as well because I was unable to find it. But why was I punished for doing something that was not my fault? And so then they threatened me in the second paragraph, keep in mind that severe or repeated offenses may result in a harsher penalty on your account, up to and including its permanent deletion. I had done nothing wrong, but I was being punished. So let's go back to here. So let's see if I can my games. So here it is right here, content deleted because of a model in the toolbox. A toolbox that is not moderated, is not vetted by Roblox, despite it earning $450 million in the last quarter. Google vets their stuff. Stuff gets through. Apple vets, File Hippo vets, CNET vets, Major Geeks vets, Bleeping Computer vets. But Roblox apparently cannot be bothered to vet, and then punishes users for using the toolbox that they provided in the first place. That didn't make sense. So I wrote back, and I said this to him. I'm sorry, I'm absolutely all for Roblox being an environment that is safe for kids. That is what I want for my 2 kids and what I want for everyone else's kids. It was never our intention that the game include anything that broke the rules. It was unnecessary to state that further offenses could result in harsher penalties. I never intended any wrongdoing. Honestly, your response is rather off-putting. I have seen any number of costumes and clothes that I found questionable being worn on Roblox. Clothes for BDSM, prostitution, and other suggestive themes are present. How is that possible? How am I supposed to play test items Roblox provides in the Studio Toolbox if I'm going to be banned while testing and developing a game that isn't even available to the public? Why is a model that is not allowed by Roblox in Roblox's Toolbox? That really is unfair. You're setting up developers like us who don't have the skills to make our own models. Why in the world would you penalize people who didn't make anything bad and where Roblox failed to remove disallowed models? Is the problem with the model that it has breasts? Have you removed the model from your toolbox so that other developers don't get punished by this very peculiar situation? And you'll see in the responses that they never respond to these things. To review, my son, who is 12, and I are developing an hobby that we hope children and adults will enjoy. 2. The hobby is not accessible to the public. Only my children and I have access while we work out to finish it. 3. Roblox allows third parties to place free models, meshes, images, sounds, etc. into the studio toolbox. 4. Apparently, Roblox does not monitor what is put into the toolbox. Not only does Roblox not seem to monitor for inappropriate material placed there, but Roblox also doesn't seem to monitor for infected items. After being banned, I was researching and discovered that there are apparently a large number of infected items in the toolbox. You do realize that if this were Apple or Google doing this in their stores, there would be an uproar, right? For that matter, almost every legitimate website that provides software has a screening process in place, whether it is CNET, FileHippo, Bleeping Computers, Major Geeks, or some other site. Roblox doesn't. 5. I added various models to use to support the fantasy theme we are developing for at least part of the hobby. I had not yet decided which ones I would keep. 6. There seems to be no way to playtest a model to make sure it follows the rules of Roblox, even if the model was made available, hosted by Roblox. Just because I can look at a script, that doesn't mean I'll be able to detect if the model makes inappropriate moves such as hip thrusting, getting an erection, or teabagging. As it is, there are numerous videos of players teabagging downed opponents, which I find extremely offensive. When I ask them to stop, they usually respond rudely. 7. Unbeknownst to me, one model that I didn't create was against the Roblox rules. I don't know how long the female blood elf has been there, but Roblox had not removed it. 8. Despite the fact that Roblox failed to remove the model, that there was apparently nothing else in our hobby that violated the rules, and that our hobby was not available to the public, I was punished with a ban and the hobby permanently suspended. No attempt was made to allow me to rectify the problem. Indeed, although I wanted to try to find out what was wrong, I could not even do that because of the IP ban against me. That's a pretty unfair way to handle this situation. Do you understand that this is considered an excessively punitive, inconsiderate, and destructive resolution of the situation by any rational person's viewpoint? Indeed, if the model was in violation of the rules, why didn't it get caught and removed long ago? Why did it take playtesting in a private studio test to set off an alarm? Why didn't Roblox act positively by removing the model from the toolbox and the servers instead of punishing developers who didn't know there was a problem, or at least giving us a warning so we could correct the problem while Roblox dealt with the model and the creator of the model? If someone finds an item in the toolbox that breaks the rule, is there a way for them to alert Roblox? And I later found out that there is actually a way to flag items, although some of the options that should be in there are not available. If Roblox had taken the reasonable course of action and alerted me to the fact that it was a disallowed model, which is Roblox's fault in the first place, I certainly would have removed it immediately. I find this to really be quite objectionable, and I hope that Roblox will take action to prevent the persecution of developers because of items provided by other people that were not removed by Roblox. I encourage Roblox to take a more active role in making sure that things in studios are neither in violation of the rules nor contain malware within them. This benefits everyone: players, developers, builders, freelancers, staff, management, and shareholders. It's a win-win because it enhances how people view Roblox. If Roblox refuses to monitor the toolbox for undesirable items, then Roblox itself can theoretically be held legally responsible. This is not a threat. I'm just stating facts. Think of it this way. Some Roblox developers and builders earn huge amounts of money. Some even use Roblox and probably platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. to promote their work as their main or only source of income. If Roblox allows things on the studio that result in significant losses to those people, it is entirely possible that they could try to sue Roblox for damages, time loss, emotional stress, and so on. There are numerous court cases with essentially identical situations to this in which the company lost or settled out of court to avoid the loss and even greater costs. At the very least, provide us with a tool that will allow us to playtest privately and warn us if the AI discovers anything problematic. So I got a response from a different person, of course. Thank you for reporting this concern to us. When another user is breaking the rules on Roblox, please let our moderators know by using the report abuse feature on the chat content that is violating them. It had nothing to do with chat. When the specific chat, game, or content is reported, this will send all the information necessary for them to appropriately moderate the situation. I do, whenever possible, report players for bad behavior, or for exploits, or for saying things in the chat that are bad, okay, discriminatory, and abusive, whatever. For information on how to use this feature, blah, blah, blah. which is not relevant to my appeal. With concerns to interactions outside of Roblox, we are not affiliated with any third-party communication. Huh? I didn't say anything about third-party communication platforms. I just said third parties, as in the members who put stuff in the toolboxes. Oh, sorry, toolbox. We want everyone to enjoy their experience on Roblox. We have moderators online around the clock reviewing reports and helping to keep Roblox fun and safe for all members, for all our players. Remember, even though you cannot see if an account is moderated, our team does take action against accounts caught violating the terms of use and community rules. Well, that's fantastic, but it doesn't address at all what I have mentioned, that I was punished for something that was not my fault. So I wrote back. See, I was in a game by Tub Pong called I Love My Job. It's a horror kind of game. And I went in one time and I saw this player named Sinner in a bra and a thong. So I sent this picture saying, hey, here's an example of what I was talking about of inappropriate costumes in Roblox. And this is highly inappropriate, far more so than whatever was wrong with that stupid female Blood Elf warrior. I couldn't report her because she was gone when I went back. So thank you for reporting this concern to us. This is all I got back. No response. They just blew me off completely. Really upsets me. But you know, it's not done. I'm not done. I mean, there's more. Now, I'm going to close this because I don't need it anymore. This really upset me. I mean, here was a response to my banning and permanent suspension of our game that was inappropriate and uncalled for, and they basically just blew me off. And I went to great lengths to explain what the situation was, and they just blew me off again. But and you think, well, that's the appeals team. Maybe they're just overworked or something like that, or maybe it was just a bad day. But you know what? I have a problem on the Roblox developer forum. I signed up back in April, and it says after a certain number of hours and doing things on the forum without any access to write, you will be automatically leveled up to the next position where you will be able to write. So I spent hours on there. I was really, really keen. I had questions I needed help with. I ended up having to go to Stack Overflow because I couldn't post on the developer forum. And after a while, I was like, what the heck? It's not working. And I didn't use the forum for a while. Then recently I went back and I spent a few more hours in the forum. And I was reading the rules, and I was reading posts, and I was liking them, and so on and so forth. And yet, despite that, nothing. I didn't get ranked up to member. So if you look at me right here, here I am. This is my profile. I'm certified. Completed our new user tutorial. I'm an enthusiast. Visited 10 consecutive days. I read the guidelines. So, I mean, I'll mark these as favorite. I mean, that one can't be. Okay. But in the instructions, it says you'll automatically be upped to the next level, which is member. And I've seen information on here that as of September of 2020, the ability to be upgraded to member, which is the next highest level after, regular is the next, which is the next one after member, has been disabled pending new rules and regulations and all that stuff. And as of now, it's still that way a year later. Still, nobody can become a member. A regular. Nobody can become a regular. And I thought, well, maybe there's a way for me to report on the forum to let them know. So I looked around and said, oh, go to here, forum feedback or forum bugs, and report your bug. So I went there and I looked at the pinned instructions. It says you have to be I think it said either a member or a regular to post here. So I have a bug, and I can't report it on the forum. I then went back to my Stack Overflow question, which is right here, and I had received a great deal of help primarily from Kyla. He had helped me to figure out what was wrong with the script that I had made. And so I added a comment at the bottom the other day saying that I needed some help with Roblox. Can you please get in contact with me? I told him what my username is on Roblox. I tried to friend him on Roblox. He didn't accept my friend request. He didn't respond on Roblox. He deleted, or he or somebody deleted my request on Stack Overflow. So, okay. So I looked around some more, and finally I found the support form. And I wrote to them and I said, hey, I've got two issues. Number one is all of the infected stuff that exists in the toolbox. And the other one is that I cannot get leveled up to member in the dev forum, and I have contributions to make. I've been doing research about the antivirus plugins that are available, and I want to share the results of my research and ask questions, and I want to contribute to other people's messages and stuff. And so I got the automated stuff. Hello, Glenn. Thank you for contacting Roblox customer support. This is a common issue for many developers, and many have resolved this problem by using the methods listed in the following help articles. General Roblox Studio issues. Okay, it has nothing whatsoever to do with my problem on the dev forum. And it is more regarding general problems with the studio, not malware problems. It's a very short article, and it's pretty much useless. I've done these things before. The problem isn't there. The problem is the toolbox. But their response completely ignored what I was asking about. The dev forum and the malware and bad stuff, other bad stuff that are in the Studio toolbox. So I wrote back to Chrisma, and I said, that was not relevant to my dev forum issue, is it? Those steps certainly have no relevance to malware existing inside assets in the toolbox. I've rebooted my computer many times over the past 5 months. I don't use a proxy. My system clock is fine. If it ever gets messed up, the BIOS always forces me to correct it. Besides, Windows automatically updates the clock on the internet. So again, I cannot post or reply on dev forum because it refuses to level me up to member. Please help. So he wrote back, thank you for contacting us again. We would like to request for a YouTube video link showing the issue so we could further review what happened. We are looking forward to receiving the information needed for us to be able to assist you further. And you can find those two videos on my gaming channel. I believe, no, not on my gaming channel, on my main channel. This one here. And let's see, these are, oh, actually you can't because they are private. But all I did was I went into the toolbox and I randomly opened up some stuff and I showed where I found malware inside of them. And then for the dev forum, I went to the dev forum and showed that there were no buttons for replying, no buttons for posting new messages. And I wrote back and I said, here are the links. And it shows that I have 6 hours of read time, 139 likes, and I've read over 1,000 messages. Okay, so what's the response I get? Thank you for contacting Roblox customer support. The forums are a community for our developers to communicate on Roblox. You can check out the public posts for more information from Roblox staff to see what it's all about. Read the developer forum help article for more information. If you need help with something else, let us know here. Well, you haven't even helped me what I asked for help with. You've given me no help. Rick, you have not helped me at all. Chrisma asked me to make videos demonstrating the two issues I have reported. If you're not going to bother to help, give my case back to Chrisma. I'm so fed up with this. Thank you for contacting us again. Unfortunately, sometimes players create models or plugins that don't really do what they say they will and can sometimes cause unintended or undesired behavior. This is typically referred to as infected. Well, duh. For more information, including assistance with removing an infection from one of your places or tips on how to prevent an infection in the first place, please see the What is this infected model on my place help article. I'm going to give you a hint right now. It's useless. But, I'll show you. I just gotta fix this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really, really frustrated here.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah, pissed off too. So what? It doesn't tell how to avoid anything, really. I mean, yes, it gives you some basic advice. Always save your progress before inserting free packages. That doesn't help you to avoid infected ones. Always investigate packages that you take out of the public inventory. Well, that assumes that you have enough knowledge to be able to identify all types of malware, including hidden ones where the class of the object has been changed to one where even if you click on it, it won't show a script hidden inside of it. So that does not help either. And then it says utilize Roblox Studio to its fullest for building. And as bad scripts and packages cannot be run in the Studio environment by default. Baloney! Bad scripts run constantly in the Studio environment by default, unless you disable them. For plugins, try running the plugin in a test place prior to putting it into your game place. But what if it's doing something that you can't see by running it? What if it's injecting stuff and you have no way to find out that information? So what if my place is already infected? Revert to an older version. Oh, that's great news. That's so helpful. I mean, seriously, guys, I can't believe how much help that is. That the only options I have is revert to an older version or wait, even better, start over. That's so, I mean, I feel like I'm communicating with a bunch of monkeys.
No, whoa.
Okay, so this article didn't help. Thank you for actually making a response that was somewhat useful. Personally, I find it extremely disappointing that a company with as much money as Roblox doesn't bother to monitor or remove bad assets from the toolbox. The article was not useful. My dev forum account is Are You Grateful? I would greatly appreciate it if I can actually use the dev forum in a participative way beyond liking. As with the toolbox, my disappointment in Roblox continues with the fact that volunteers have to pour their time into the forum. It speaks volumes to me about Roblox, a multi-million-dollar company. And I haven't received a response. It's been 9 hours, so I guess I should give them more time to get their heads out of their collective buttholes to actually respond to me. But this is okay. This is the kind of crap you're going to deal with. Okay. There are people who have been banned, and they come back in, make a new account, and they admit that they were banned and made a new account. And then they go back to their same old behavior. I've gotten some of them banned because they were legitimately doing something wrong. Now, if I make a mistake and say something wrong, okay, I own up to it. But these guys, they don't care. You know, Roblox talks about how kid-friendly the environment is. But you know what? I often go into games and I see toxic behavior. I see people who deliberately target certain players and hit them again and again and again and again to the exclusion of everybody else. I see players who use foul language and insulting language and other things, and nothing happens. I see people exploiting weaknesses that are often because of the toolbox being full of infected stuff, and sometimes just because of flaws in Roblox and Lua or Luau. I see all kinds of bad stuff going on. I see material or stuff within Roblox games that is inappropriate for children. I mean, I was doing a video of a game yesterday or the day before, and there was one scene where I walk into the sewer and there's this puddle of blood, and in the puddle of blood is the jaw of a person and 2 eyeballs. I see people dressed inappropriately. This stuff goes on all the time. And I understand that Roblox cannot handle everything. But some of the stuff that's going on, they can handle. And I just don't understand that, you know, between the appeals team and the customer service team. And I used to do customer service and technical support. And this is a great example of why I don't do business with companies like Columbia and eBay and Greyhound. And because they have absolutely pathetic customer support, just like Roblox. They don't answer your questions. They refer you to articles that are not helpful. They ignore questions and statements. They ignore, and it's just, ugh, it just drives me nuts. So, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I really want to put these games up and let people enjoy them. But is it really worth it? When you can't use the developer forum to get help, and you can't go to the appeals team and the customer support teams to get help. You have to go to outside sources. I understand. I am grateful for the opportunity to, aside from my time and my effort, to do this stuff for free. I'm grateful for that. But being punished for something I didn't do, being ignored, being rejected about requests for help and requests for an appeal, that's totally not right. And so I'm seriously considering, just starting over somewhere else, because this is just not acceptable. Did you want to add something, son?
We're thinking about going on Unity.
Yeah, well, maybe Unity. We'll see. Maybe Godot. I don't know. So if you are from Roblox, I'll tell you what. If you want to hire me, I'll fix your customer service team because they suck. Your appeals team sucks. Their attitude is horrible. Their unwillingness and inability to help. I don't even know if they actually understand what I wrote. I feel like I was interacting with kindergartners. So Roblox, please fix these problems. I want to participate on your dev forum, but I can't. And the icing on the cake, I found in the dev forum, I found a message saying, "Oh, you can join the not the community created Discord channels, but you have to be a regular to join." So once again, another source of help has been blocked off for me, and the only sources I have access to will not help me. And this is just so very, very frustrating. And it tells me just what kind of company this is and how little they really care about the users and the developers. So thank you very much for listening to my rant. I'm sorry I went on so long. If you have any questions, please use them below in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you. At this point, I'm just at my wit's end. Thank you so much. Have a good day.